like a time machine and take me back, way back to the day that changed my road.
The first thing I've got to say to you, Martin, with everything that you've gone through over the years, yeah, what does it mean to open that today?
Groundbreaking, Red. Absolutely groundbreaking. You know, these people have done everything that Rochdale Council have failed to do.
Yeah.
And I hope that it rolls out across the country. But you need individuals like these people who are concerned about the effect life has on others in order to get something like this rolling. I think they're fantastic. Fantastic.
The work
they're genuine people who just give the time and the money for nothing.
Yeah.
You know, in order, and they will. It's true, you know, Red. They will literally, and this is from my own personal experience. They will literally save lives physically.
And you know more than anyone.
Yeah.
So can we get back just for the purpose of the camera, because a lot of people may not know and they may not see the interviews that we had and they may not know of your history. Can you just explain who you are and what relevance you've got, not only to Rochdale but to Pag and Linden and all the rest of the people?
Yeah, well, my history goes back to around 79, 78 with working for Rochdale Council in education. And I found out in the early 90s that they'd been secretly filing documentation of a serious nature confidentially on children who had been sexually assaulted whilst in the authorities' care. Basically, they didn't want to be sued. But the audacity of not even informing the parents outrages me. And the duplicity that members of staff have shown in that cover-up is a disgrace. And yet Rochdale haven't given anybody a full explanation. I don't know a parent who has yet been contacted by the council and had a full explanation for their child's experience, let alone an apology to the parents whose children are dead.
Yes. Yeah. And then all the ripple effect that will happen with that.
Well, you can imagine how it goes through a family of death. Somebody could be 19 dying, it still has a ripple effect.
Of course it does.
So when somebody 12 dies, God, I mean, it's just unimaginable.
Yeah.
And that you get this callous approach from a council and from officials who just pocket the money and go home.
Yeah, because we've got to have it right here, man. You're not just shooting from the hip here. The last time we met, you had documentation coming out of every orifice.
Yes, that's right.
And I was overwhelmed. I'll totally tell you, because at that time I was still learning and my video techniquing skills was very limited. So the most I could do was hold up a bundle of papers in front of the camera. Yeah. Now I would love to do another sit-down interview, because now I'm a bit more technical in terms of introducing and overlaying all the documentation to prove what you were talking about. Yeah. So this is not something that you're just saying, oh, I'm angry. You've got every bit of documentation to prove everything.
Red, when I walked into this, I walked into it with my eyes open. I knew that I'd lose my job. I knew that I'd lose my career. But how am I supposed to live with the knowledge that children have been seriously sexually assaulted whilst in the care of a local authority who've then covered it up? How am I supposed to live with that? I've got 2 kids of my own. How do I live with that? I couldn't live with it.
Yeah. Well, you're displaying what is called a moral compass, mate. These guys are not. They've not got any kind of ounce of that within them. It's all about themselves, or at least that's what they're portraying to the broader public.
But it's the arrogance as well, Red.
Certainly.
Because the documentation I've got, I made sure the police had copies of everything. I made sure the council were aware of everything that I was holding. I made sure the council solicitors were aware of everything that I was holding. Yet they still went on and on denying until August of last year, when the High Court forced them into an apology in London. That's how arrogant these people are, and they're still in their offices now. And what are they doing?
Yeah, nothing. They've been invited to this, every one of them. They've had emails, they've had it all.
Have you seen any of them?
Not yet, mate. Maybe they might be stuck on public transport that they're supposed to be organising to, I
guarantee, Red, that there will be officials from the council who sent observers, and there will be observers from GMP. I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Yeah. There will be. They will. But they won't offer a hand out to help.
No.
So in what you're saying,
the audacity to charge these people for a service that the council are supplying themselves.
Business rates. What for? They're not actually a business.
No.
They're providing what we would regard as a utility service.
I suggest to you, Red, that maybe sexual abuse in Rochdale is a business.
Well, now you've touched on it. You're getting more to the point there, Martin. because it does seem the conspiracy of silence does make more sense when you've got politicians that can get through life with that conspiracy of silence, plus they know what's going on underneath them that is more organised than they're prepared to let on. Whether they're making money, their mere silence is enough.
Yes.
In terms of guilt.
Well, let me tell you about silence, Red. I've got a document in there which I received from the current Chief Executive of Rochdale Council, Steve Rumbelow, it's called.
Yes.
Yeah. Which informs me that his staff have been instructed to take no communications from me. This was before he knew the way that things were going to go at High Court, before Rochdale had to apologise to abused children and families. And it's in there, you can read it, mate, you can film it. And he's instructed his staff not to speak to me. No communication. At the end of the day, I'm just a member of the public. But am I?
What's he saying there?
He's saying that his staff are instructed not to speak or communicate with me in any way.
Talk about all the levels of persecution that you've had over the years, Martin.
I haven't got enough air.
I know, because that's changed you as an individual, hasn't it?
Yeah,
It must have.
Of course it does, yeah.
Because I'd never met you before, but I seen it in your face when you were talking with the passion that you was and the anger and the frustration that people would have seen in this 5 minutes. What you've gone through to get to that point, like you say, you've already spoke about, you foreknew that you were going to lose your career because you were doing the right thing. You could see the kickback that you were getting from everyone. Was the kickback to quell you, or was the kickback just out of them being cowardice?
A combination, I think. There was certainly a lot of animosity from the council's part and from the police's part, because they all had different individuals involved in various aspects of the abuse. I'm not saying physically partaking, but with something to hide.
Right.
And so, in case of both, they're very angry with me. Do I care?
Why are they angry with you, Martin?
Telling the truth.
I know, but if it was one of their kids, would they want a Martin Digan coming out and saying this is wrong?
I suspect they might do. I mean, I get cloned on Facebook on different things, and I don't care, because I've been in far worse places than that as a result of this council and GMP. So it doesn't matter. Bring it on. Clone all you want.
Yeah, it gets to the point where what more can you do to me? You know what I mean? As an individual, what can you take from it?
Without sort of physically interfering with my life, they can't.
Yeah. You're a strong individual, mate, and that's what they realise that they come up against. So the only thing he can do is instruct people not to talk to you, because he knows. Gives you 5 minutes of your time, and you can tell you're a very eloquent person who knows your job inside and out. So you would create waves within that. So all he can do is keep you quiet. He can't take you on.
For the first time in their menial lives, they have to take me seriously, and they don't like it. They don't like it.
So fast forwarding now then, with everything that you've done, and you felt that you were forced to kind of relocate yourself because of what Rochdale was doing to you. How satisfying is it to have this now?
It's the icing on the cake. It's
Things
fantastic.
have happened even when you've not been here, and it might not be as big as we'd like, because this should be national news. It should be all over the place.
The difference is, Red? The difference is that these people believed me. There are parents and pupils in there who attended the situations that I'm talking about at Novia School. There are pupils in there that I've not seen since 1990, 1992. They're there, physically there today. They told their story, they've said what happened to them, and it complies with both the documentation and my experience. So why are the council insisting on the lies that they've told for decades, as well as GMP saying no problem? What's going on, Red?
I can't suss it out myself. I've been here probably for the past 6-8 months, coming up and down, doing interviews with either Danny, Billy, Mike, or any of them in regards to grooming or what they're doing in terms of PAG and Shatter Boys. And I can't work it out with what's going on with the council, with Alan Brett, all his misdemeanours.
Can you tell me what happened to the chap who lied in court?
In what regard, mate?
In the High Court in August. I think it was a Mr. Farnell who was accused by the courts of lying, committing perjury. I wonder, have the police interviewed? Has he been arrested?
No, mate. He's actually re-electing himself. He's going back on the road. He is. Billy said he's actually working in our unit. And he said he was at round the corner from his house cutting a ribbon.
Goodness me.
And I said, mate, you know what you should do? You should get back out. If he's filmed himself cutting a ribbon, re-announcing himself back on the scene, you should film yourself putting the bleeding ribbon back up and saying, we don't want you here, mate. We don't want you here.
Unbelievable.
I know.
But I shouldn't say that because I've seen the unbelievable for decades.
Yes.
You know, but really, I suppose, that runs to form.
It's no surprise.
No, it runs to form, it does. You know.
And it gets to that point now where you go beyond being outraged. I've only seen a little bit, mate, never mind what you've seen. So the fact that you can still kind of not laugh about it because it's not funny, but the only thing you can do is laugh, because if not, you're
it's cynicism on my part, Red.
Yes.
It's cynicism.
Yeah, no, and I get it, mate, because if nothing else, all you can do now is take the piss out of the situation, but at the same time offer a helping hand to anyone who needs it, you know. So it is a crazy scenario, and if people external from Rochdale could see that this ain't just going on in Rochdale, Martin.
No way.
We're talking councils up and down the country.
Rochdale's simply a template for all the councils in the country. You know, but Rochdale are a leading template.
So would it be fair to say that if more people could home in on local councils, that would lead a bigger picture as to straight up to the establishment?
I do, yeah, because I think that these people, the public should have more influence on how the council operates and spends its money. And I find it an affront that they would even think about charging these people for the work that they're trying to do. They're saving lives, Red. Literally, they're saving lives.
You should be paying them.
Yeah.
They should be keeping them afloat, giving them every facility they can to make sure. Not only that, then promoting them. Because on a politician's kind of level, mate, if I was a politician and I adhered to helping these guys, if I'm stood on a podium saying I'm helping these guys, surely to me that's going to be a feather in my cap.
Yeah.
So why aren't they doing it on that premise?
Well, I can only speak as I see it in terms of my experience of Rochdale, and that is because they just put their heads in the sand, the council, and they dig it down as far as they can so they can't hear anything, can't see anything, don't have to do anything. You know, and it's not appropriate to the needs of the public in Rochdale or the young people or the old people. And I think that there does need to be more public influence on councils in order to do what the people want.
Bring the point out back to them that they've got to be talking about it. Do you think they've gone too far down the line now that it'd be that embarrassing to bring all this up?
I think it was too far down the line when it happened, to be quite honest with you.
Certainly.
I think it was
because
certainly...
of the gravity of what was going on.
For me, it's too far down the line. But when you get caught with your hand in the till, as in the confidential pages that I received, the documentation, that's hand in the till for the council. Then it was time to say, right, let's do something about this. That was 1994. Now, I don't know how many years that is ago, if 23, 24 years ago. Then it was time to say, right, this went wrong, let's do something about it. But to insist on lying up until August 2018 is an absolute disgrace. A disgrace. And still now, head buried in sand.
And it's not just one person, Martin.
No, it's not,
the
no.
conspiracy of silence that ripples right through. Even if they're not complicit in the act themselves, they know.
Reggie, if you any knowledge that you have, legal, I mean, I'm no lawyer, but I've learnt this over the years of different solicitors and different situations. If you have knowledge of a minor being involved in a sexual offence, physical assault, and you do not speak out about it, then under the Criminal Justice Act you are liable for prosecution. So what's happened? How many councillors should be liable for criminal prosecution? The people who had their hands on that documentation before I got it, why aren't they being prosecuted?
Oops,
sorry, love. Sorry, darling. Why aren't they being prosecuted?
Yeah.
They're guilty of an offence.
No.
Do the offences only apply to Joe Public?
Apparently so, Martin.
You're going to wear a shirt and a tie and a suit not to be an offender?
If you talk with a nice accent and you keep telling them that you're doing good for them, people will buy it, unfortunately. Give them enough bread and circus to kind of distract them.
Yeah.
And it works. Yeah. Ultimately works. And then you've got people like yourselves who is not a coward, not afraid of speaking up, then actually bring the point to them.
They don't scare me, Red, they never have.
No, but they're scared of you, Martin.
All the backslappers.
They're scared of you. No. They don't want you. They don't need voices like you because that runs against.
And they won't like this.
They won't like it. But you know what, mate? Am I bothered either?
Am I
Seriously,
bothered?
exactly.
I'm not bothered.
We're two people that are not bothered.
No, we're not bothered.
Martin, it's been absolutely fantastic. I'm hoping to grab another interview. We'll have to get in touch. We'll have to
Yes.
exchange numbers at some point, and then we can
Do it
definitely.
today, Red, yeah.
Okie
No
dokie.
problem at all.
Mate, thank you for your service and
You're more than
everything. you've
welcome,
done.
Red.
Any last words before?
I'd say hello to everybody. Be brave, stand up, and speak out.
Mate, wise words. Thanks a lot, Martin.
Right, you're welcome, Red.
This is Red Pill Phil on the Opening a Pack UK. If anything, share the bleeding hell out of all these posts, okay? Because you can see that it's gaining weight, this. It is gaining weight. Red Pill Phil, like and subscribe. I love you all, even the pissing haters.